Crashing down this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found. But you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air, like a blazing flare. Just stare, cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world
Are you a curious student, eager to learn new skills and make your mark in the world? Or are you a professional seeking to advance your career and unlock your full potential? You need to be equipped with effective soft skills like communication, problem solving, teamwork, and more. The Level Up Academy by Doc Leland bridges the gap between education and employment through transferable skills training. Get the soft skills you need to be more effective at work.
Oh, you meant the world to me. My darling dear, you never.
Hi, everybody. I'm just pumping myself on music, right? It's Happy Thursday. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I have a special person today. Let me tell you something. God is good. God is great because when you're not ready, He gives you so much adversity and pain, sorrow, happiness, joy, fear, anger, all of that emotions just balled up into one sometimes. And people feel like giving up, right? But there's something inside of us that says, nope, there's this light. I'm going to keep going. And I feel like this story today is about that. She's full of heart, full of passion, full of integrity. And when I spoke to her, I literally made time for her today. I wasn't going to have anyone in October until not even next week, not this week, to do any of my life because hello, the global summit, right? But I feel like her story needs to be in there. And really, my platform is all about elevating your story, whoever you are, and sharing it to the world, right? I have a platform that people are listening to in the MP3, so I will provide that. I also wanted to clarify that the global summit that you're going for is actually free. It is not with pay. So anybody can register. It's not live like this. So you can't see it. There's no replay. It is, I want you guys to live in the now. I want you guys to live in the moment. When someone is talking in the panel and they pour their heart out, I want you to get to know your community member. So there is no fee to register. Um, there are a lot things going on in that registration, but the replay we will have to charge on that one. So there's no really replay if you wanted to, but to get in is free. We're also going to have fun because we're going to have Zoom rooms, meaning you get to meet new people. So if you're a business owner, if you are an entrepreneur, or if you just are someone that just wants to get to know other people, this is the time for you to go to the Global Summit. Again, it's free. The $50 video that we're selling is each person if you are ready to level up, right? And this is your opportunity in 3 days. Some of these people's program are in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, like the John Maxwell with Willie J. Steve Kidd's program is about 2,500 to 3,000, and it's only for $50. So this is only if you're ready. But this is more of a networking event, so everyone is welcome. Take your pets with you. I don't care. Take your cows, your dogs. My dogs are probably going to be present on the summit. Yesterday, they were present too. Um, because I want you to come as yourself. I don't want you to be anybody else. The point of having a community that I want to create is to have you in here. So, today I'm going to go over the Global Summit again, and I'll show you one of the videos from Steve Kidd. And also, I have a hint of my next project for November. And so I cannot wait to share with you guys. I know I have a lot of team replay, people are working. So for the team replay, this will be for you. But right now, let me see if I can share my screen. Okay, so I know where it's going to go. Mm, 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 mm. Let's see if I can share my global summit there. Hopefully, you guys can see it. All right. You guys can see that, right? And let me see if I can make it into a PowerPoint. All right. So the Global Summit is brought to you by Level Up Academy. And these are some of the people that will be in it. I know it's kind of small, but you'll see it. You'll see them on my business page. You'll see them also on my profile, right? There's about 30 of us. And Frank Tran is one of our intern. He is looking for a job in Canada. He is in Canada. And keep in mind that the purchase that you'll have in any of these platform on the summit goes to the fire victim in Lahaina. There is a one of our sisters here, Angelica, her brother's neighborhood in Hawaii is the one that gets affected, and I'm hoping I can actually have him on the event when if he can come on the event to actually just to say hello to him and see where that's going so you guys know it's going to his neighborhood, so he'll be talking to us for that. Another thing I wanted to go over is that I went over it yesterday, so I'm not going to go over it too much, but the lessons learned is when you guys introduce yourself, when I ask you, and I'm going to ask our guest Michelle today who she is, the first thing we do is I'm CJ Leland or I'm Dr. Leland, depends if I'm in class, right? And then people meet you and then you're not memorable enough, so they just move on. But I guarantee you, when they're trying to explain it to somebody, they'd be like this, the Asian lady, short, loud, that one. Do you remember her? Do you know her name? That's how they'll remember me. Okay. That's literally, I asked some of my friends, and that's how they describe me. But I'm basically telling you that when I introduce myself, I would want people to remember me for what I'm passionate about rather than who I am, title, all that nonsense, right? That's something that I'm passionate about. Doesn't mean you're passionate about that. However, when you introduce yourself, you should introduce yourself and what you're passionate about, right? I usually will say, especially if it's a professional, I usually will say I'm a trailblazer. I'm a philanthropist. I give things away for my students to educate themselves on whatever topic, especially in business. I am an educator and a professor for 10 years, but I did K to 12 for 3.5 years, two times international best-selling author, four books, one in six different languages for academic publishing, two in anthologies, and one is my dissertation on Kindle. I'm also a community builder and I use my platform or my podcast in six continents, 77 nations and countries to build a community that I want to be in. My name is Dr. Constance Leland. That to me is more memorable on people. Sometimes it's too much because they don't like what is happening, right? But usually I'm like, what are you? I usually will say I'm a professor. Most of my students are adult learners and they are veterans. And so they're like, oh, wow, okay. And they get confused because they probably think professors should be like old glasses. I'm like, I have those too. I have a librarian glasses. See? That's my librarian glasses because I can't literally see. I have bifocals, by the way. Um, but I'm like, I don't really need to see that right now, right? And I also want you to know why the global summit. I want to most global summits you see, like G20s and things like that for the world and our nations, is to address critical international issues, right? That needs a collective action and cooperations among nations. Usually, the problem is about climate change, pandemic, poverty, nuclear disarmament, terrorism. All of these issues are on the table currently as we speak, right? And so, all of these leaders that we have, they're supposed to do, hey, these issues transcend our national borders. It can't be tackled by one country alone. Can we please agree to disagree and work together? That's usually what the summit's about. My summit is to be recharged and in charge. In order for you to be in charge of yourself, your family, and your business, you need to recharge yourself and tool up. And the tools you need is our global summit. And I have three buckets: business leaders, educators, and coaches. You can serve several valuable purposes in this summit, right? The first thing is exchange of knowledge. We don't know everything, and some things we know we're good at. That's why we're doing exchange of knowledge. We also look at best practices among all of our groups, and business leaders can share their experiences and challenges so we can learn from it. Educators can provide insights to effective teaching and training methods and also inspire those who are hanging by the thread that don't want to teach anymore because our educational system has failed us, right? We want to inspire them to say, please, our future is in your hands. Those future leaders are running around as kinder right now, right? But 20, 30 years from now, they're going to be our future presidents. Please keep them. Please keep them, right? Coaches can offer strategies for your personal and professional development. You don't want to pay for coaches, but you love to enjoy Manny Pacquiao, right? Um, all of the basketballs and football players and all these players and golf, but they too have coaches, right? They too have coaches to train them to have accountability with them. Therefore, you, if you want to be great, this is your moment to have a coach as well and a mentor. What else? We need to innovate and collaborate because with diverse groups of business leaders, educators, we can foster innovation and collaboration. We can create new ideas. We can have development of leadership and also educate ourselves on what is the best way to provide solutions to our current problems. We have a lot of problems, right? Another thing is to make sure that we have skill enhancement. How do we communicate, right? Your commitment, your attitude needs to align. Some people want to be heard and seen, but they don't provide value. Every single day, I'm proven that some of my community members here are like heard and seen, but not provide value. And so, dig deep inside yourself and say, what kind of value can I provide people? People are so big to turn down opportunities of collaboration because there's no money in it. It's not about money, it's about impact and legacy. Okay? Now, global summits provide an excellent networking opportunity. Participants can build valuable connections and forge partnerships. And you think, CJ, you're so out of touch. The world is about money. The world needs money. Even America is in $1 trillion debt. Do they still keep moving? Did we all die here because we owe trillions of dollars? We don't. How do we do that? We collaborate, right? I am not out of touch not knowing that money can make the world go round because it's a tool. But that tool doesn't have to have intentions of just profit. The tool has intentions to what? People over profit. We need money so that we can make more impact. I get it, right? But it also make sure that your heart and the impact and legacy you're providing is there. That is more important to me than anything else, right? And networking is the best place that you can do. So we have professional networking on October 21st, and also we're going to have networking during the event and a breakout session. Now, for professional development, this is the best place you can come in, right? And then address global challenges. There's a lot of global challenges that we can do. What do? We collaborate and inspire others so that we can be motivated to move forward what we need to do to help other people and brothers and sisters around the world and cross sector partnerships, a global perspective, right? And I want you guys to think about being a servant leader out there because these are some of the characteristics: humility, empowerment, vision, collaboration, ethical behavior, right? I'm watching you. Giveaways and offer. This is one of Steve Kidd. This is the $2,500 worth, and it's only for $50 that he's giving away. Sunshine Quotient. I don't remember what how much her programs are for Catherine Chadwick, but she's gonna give you an ebook with your $50. And again, this is a free summit, but they will be providing their services and all of these downloads that you can buy for 50. And keep in mind that your money goes to Lahaina victims, okay? And my sister, she's a 3 times international best-selling author. This is her first time in her solo book, and she was already number 7 on her category out of 10. Okay. Oh my gosh, my phone's gone crazy. Now, what I want you guys to know is that she worked so hard on this book. She did it on her own. She downloaded it in Kindle. She did everything. Her link actually is in the comment section of this event for this book. Okay. And obviously, I got it in Kindle. And look at that. It is so amazing. There's like a journey. She also has, I produce her show, and she has her own show, and she does her production now solo. Her name is Susanna Dawn. Please check out her book. Okay. And let's go ahead and stop that for now and then share our screen one more time. Um, Let me remove that one. And then we're going to bring in Michelle because that's what we're here today is to elevate our people. But I want you guys to see this really quickly. And this is Steve Kidd.
Have a like an antique
That
we established that.
yeah. Besides that, number one is, and I always say this to everybody, somebody's waiting on you. There is someone who is potentially even right this second while we're talking on Google, searching for that thing. And as I said earlier, it's so easy to you that you're probably not even thinking about what that would be the book you would write. And they're desperate. I mean, to the point where they may be in tears over doing something that you're like, everybody knows how to do the dishes. I actually knew a person who had a PTSD event over doing dishes. Now, I know this seems kind of crazy, but for them, because of some childhood trauma, the concept of dishes at the end of the day triggered them severely. and they were able to work with a person, and they turned, making a very long story very short, they turned dishes time into this amazing sanctuary event for them, to the point where they now can't wait for the time of day when they get to do dishes. And most of us, dishes is just part of our life. We don't even think about it. We don't love them. We don't hate them. We just do them. And so it was really amazing to me to hear the story of, first of all, that somebody would be triggered by that, but second of all, how helpful a basic concept on here's how to up level the whole experience of doing dishes was in changing this person's life. And so that's why I always say somebody's waiting on you. Somebody needs exactly that thing. Secondarily to that, or part B of that, if you will, is it doesn't matter how many people have said that same exact thing. Nobody's going to say it exactly the way that you're going to say it. Going back again to our kids, it's like,
So that is part of what your $50 is about. I have a video of every single person, and some of them have their own video that we're going to provide. That's the $50 that you're buying, plus the freebies that they're giving you. Thousands of dollars from this man right here. I'm 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 so touched. I can't even believe you. So anyway, before I bring Michelle's coming up. I wanted to give you a heads up. I have another project. I'm calling out on people right now for an anthology coming in November. I'm going to call out 40 authors, and more likely I'm not settled on how much the book for each person will cost. You guys already know that um if you do a solo book, it's about 15 to $20,000, sometimes $30,000 for that book. So I know one person's not going to be able to do 15, 30,000, right, to support us. So we're going to do 40 authors so we can provide some portion of the money to go to human trafficking. And think about this ahead, because we're not halfway, but halfway to the month. The theme of that anthology is going to be, why is it more valuable to live our mission for others? Again, I'm going to repeat it. Why is it more valuable to live our mission for others? And that is the theme of our anthology. And that's coming from Evan McBee. And are you guys ready for Michelle? Are you guys ready? Hello, Michelle.
Hi, CJ. Hello, I'm
Ah,
very happy to be here.
yes. I'm so sorry. I went over 6 minutes there. I usually in at 5 minutes. There was so much to say. But first of all, how are you doing? Are you feeling good?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Very nervous, but I'm feeling good.
Nah, we're just having a coffee chat. That's all we're doing.
That's
Um,
great.
I will jump right into this first question. Think back 20 years ago and find within your timeline some of the significant changes in your life that got you here where you are today.
Wow. I found out I was adopted at 30 years old, and I had absolutely no idea. And my world stopped, and I paused, and I immediately knew I was so loved by my parents. And it changed me. It changed me because I have been loved so much unconditionally. And when I did speak to my brother, because we were then not biologically connected, but that made absolutely no difference. We just absolutely adore one another still as brother and sister. And he's become a big mentor in my life, still till today. Um, and then as we progressed, I spoke to mom, and mom said to me, she was um, she was shocked that I had approached her, and she said to me, we knew that she was hitting her Alzheimer's, and at the same time, and I gave my mom 6 months to talk to my brother, but she said, Shelley, I can't do that because Dad and I promised on a Bible that you were ours. And not only that, when it was time for mom to get tested and all that. Mom had to hand the key over to me because I promised to take care of her. And she said to me, Shelley, if you do this for me, I need you to do something for her. And she said, you need to follow your heart with art. And it stayed with me for years because I got so sucked into a job in my life straight away after studying art, um, becoming a qualified illustrator. And it wasn't something that I wanted to do, but at the end of the day, I got sucked into design and for a signage companies for 30 over 30 years. But in those days, there weren't computers, there weren't cell phones, and I was doing airbrushing and doing everything by plans and doing fonts small and everything to scale. And I was like, this was amazing. But then computers came in, and you still get sucked into where you are because it's the safest thing to do. And however, throughout my life, my passion was always art, and I ran it parallel with my life. And I was always doing portraits and animal portraits and carried on. And oh my word, when I hit 50, I started waking up that I have got such, just now a year ago, last year, April, I changed my life around and I decided that was it. I'm going to do art and I'm going to put my heart into it and I'm going to make it work. It's what I've always wanted to do, and I need to do this for mom. But I have to take you back a little bit. When I was about 17 years old, I was I was pretty high up in hockey. For many years, I played it professionally for my province, and um, I ended up going on a hockey tour. And of course, there weren't cell phones and all those kind of things. And I caught double pneumonia and some virus. I didn't know what it was. And instantly, I was in intensive care, and I was like, what the heck? And you don't realize the impact it has on you at such a young age. And it took about 3 days for my parents to come up and see me because they thought, oh, every time they try to get hold of it, the landline was broken or whatever it happens to be. And mom and dad came up, and the people they stayed with prayed for me. They prayed for me. They all prayed for me because when they came up, it was almost time for me to go on a life support. And oh my word, I was shocked. My dad arrived with a priest. And I was like, oh my word, I didn't realize it was so bad. Um, anyway, they did tests on me and all that. And dad sat there and dad said to the priest, Lord, if there's anyone you take away now, that's me because I've lived my life and my daughter has not. And here, a year later, I survived that. Um, after 2 hours, I had about 5 professors over me. I was actually in Bloemfontein, the Universitas Hospital at the time, and apparently they were the best lung unit in South Africa. And I came after they took, because they always used to bring the X-ray machines around to me. And within 2 hours of testing and after prayer and being in that intense moment with my dad and my mom and the priest, it disappeared. And a year later, my dad died alone in front of me. And my heart stopped there. And I was like, instantly, I knew I'm here for a reason. And I know my dad would have been proud of what I'm doing today because he was always proud of me no matter what I did, he elevated me throughout my life. And he gave my brother and I the best upbringing we ever could have had. And it stayed in my mind all the years how special I was. I knew I was special. And they always told me I was special. But I had no idea until I turned 30 how actually special I was. And all that unconditional love I've had, I cannot keep quiet about it because it's something so special that people need to know that you can be loved by not being biologically connected. You can be so loved, and it is true and it is out there. And I've just been so blessed. I must tell you a story actually. When I did meet my family, I seeked them and I thought, I don't like to live without regrets. And I went in very open mindedly and I seeked and I looked for them, my biological parents. And it was a wonderful journey. It wasn't easy in the beginning. As we know, I think it's complex, but one overcomes those things and you've got to face your fears and be open and stay positive. Because if you go in with your heart, you can't fight that. You cannot fight that. And at least you've tried your best. And it turns out now I have 6 brothers and sisters and 2 step brothers and sisters. And I have a huge, huge family. Keeping up with birthdays is actually quite funny. And nieces and nephews. And my life is so rich. And a story, my one sister came to fetch me one day from the airport because they don't live in the same province as I do. So I only see them all from time to time. But whenever they come to Cape Town, they want to see Mishi and they come live with me on the farm, and we go out. And I love dancing. Dancing is a big part of my heart and nature. And anyway, I'll never ever forget it. My one niece was jumping up and down on the back seat of the car when my sister was driving. And she said to me, Mummy, 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 I want more brothers and sisters. Now, at the time, she had an older brother. And I turned around and I said to her, you got to be careful for what you wish for, my sweetie. And today, her mom gave her another brother and another sister. They were lot, as we call it, lot lamakis, big gaps. So now she has 4 brothers and sisters. But life can change at a switch of a hand or a flip of a coin, and go in with such an open heart and face it and deal with it. Don't run away from it because you will never be able to overcome a lot in your life if you do not face it and feel good with it. And I beautiful things that have happened in my life. When I first met my biological mom, she she said to me, Shirley, I held you so tight. My parents got me at 10 months old. And she said to me, I held you so tight, I never wanted to let you go. And she said to me, Michelle, I too was given up for adoption. And can I find her mom? And through the years of knowing her, I seeked her mom, which would be my grandmother. And I found her. And I was like, oh my word, this is incredible. And when I was called up, my biological mom passed 2 years before my mom, who raised me. And I walked into the hospital because I had found out literally a week before that I have a grandmother, and I found her mom. And yeah, my one sister contacted me on that side of the family, and she said to me, I have to come up, and mom is not good, and she she's really bad and you really need to come up. So I flew up, took off work, and I walked into the hospital, and she was in high care at the time. And I got a chance to whisper in her ear. But before I whispered in her ear, I met my one brother for the first time from that side of the family, because they never knew in growing up. Only my sister knew from that side of
Mm.
the family. So he welcomed me, and I was immediately welcomed to his family from that day forth. And I then spoke to my mom, and I whispered in her ear that I found her mom. And she said to me, Michelle, in life, you're going to gain things and you're going to lose things. And it's so true. Keeping your heart open to those kind of scenarios. And then, straight after our conversation, she slipped into a coma.
Wow, that's so
So,
amazing. She
and
was
then,
waiting for you basically in that at that moment, and
yes,
she's at peace knowing
yes,
that that's happening. That's a lot of excitement and trauma and journey on your end, and that's where you are today. I want people to know where your history and why you are what you are in terms of your art. And that's my next question is, before I ask the next question, I want to acknowledge your love for your dad. I try to control myself not to cry. I'm a crybaby, okay? And my people know, like, everywhere on social media, I do not have a problem crying. Like, I'm looking like a fool, but that's okay. I try to control myself, but I want to acknowledge that your love for your dad is so strong, and he is definitely proud of where you are. And I want people to know where Michelle is at. She's in South Africa, guys. Okay. She's not in the US, she's in South Africa. Anyhow, my next question is, art has the power to inspire, provoke, and transcend time, right? How do you think art contributes to our understanding of history and culture?
everything, everything we do. Uh, art, art is expressive, and you must capture the moments as soon as possible because it's part of your emotions. And behind every single artwork that is done, if you think about it, there is a story, there is a bit of culture, there is history, there are emotions that follow with it. And it's like music, and for everybody's passion. And that was my passion. And that is the reason why I am following my heart with art. And if I can express bringing out something so important and expressive in what you can't do in an illustrative format, I want to do that for you. I want to do that for you. I want to bring out those emotions because I certainly know where they're coming from. And it just creates so much more impact. And it is so important because it must not be forgotten. And when you pass, it can be there as a legacy, it can be passed on generationally. And for me, I started thinking, and when you go through difficult times, as in finding yourself, you start realizing things. And the one biggest thing I started realizing too was, even if you get sucked into a career that you do not like, or it's just a way of life to bring in it and put food on the table for your family, carry on with your passions. You never know. And you will start building history and stories and pictures and videos. I never had that opportunity when I was growing up. I can only do that through the pictures I've taken of my art that was commissioned throughout my career mostly. But I've built such a strong foundation. And all I can say to people is, please don't stop with your passions and creating, Legacies, because you can flip it over into a book and you can publish it, and you will create even further legacies, and you can create generational wealth, and you can pass it on to your families, and keep going in what you believe in, because when you retire one day, and or before then, you will get to a point where you can flip it over and it
Yeah.
will work for you because you built such strong foundations.
Start
And
early. That's a great point.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And you're
Start.
talking about legacy, right? So I said, the world of art has seen various movements, like even Baroque, all the way from 17th century. And movements, styles over centuries has changed. So how do these shifts in artistic trends influence an artist's legacy, especially your legacy?
Well, what has been a huge advantage to me, which I've only discovered within myself of doing my second book mostly. I published. I'm a published illustrator of two children's books within a year. So I pushed hard and I worked really hard on that. And by doing artwork by hand and going through the education of it, I developed a style, and I like a specific medium that I like to use. And then by doing, eventually going into designing, I could do computer work and designing. And I never married the two. And now I marry the two, and oh my word, it's a whole new world for me. And I see the value in it, because what you do by hand, there's certain things you cannot do to push out more, and
Mm,
like sparkles and uh, all sorts of things that like really bring things to life. Because when a person sees my artwork, they're going to not forget it, they're going to remember the story behind it too, because I like to share the story with it, because it is so important that that person's memory gets carried in with impact, in vision, in the perspective that you look at it, and the life that it brings to it. And by marrying the two is just absolutely incredible. And now I don't have to do it on large scale. I figured out, let me do the faces separate. And so that I've got all the detail that, because I was in signage, I was working on things that be 30, 40 meters in size.
wow,
So I
that's
know the
huge.
quality that's required for it. Yet
Yeah.
by doing things in A4 size or A3 size or A2 size, you want good quality. So the
Yeah.
bigger you do it, and when you scan it in, the quality is absolutely phenomenal in what
Oh,
you can
that's
do.
so amazing. Well, my
So,
next question is some artists gain recognition and fame during their lifetime, right? While others achieve posthumous acclaim. So, what factors do you think contributes to this difference in timing and how does it affect their legacies? Like, for example, some people, um, what we famous known, right? All of their art, they died even in poverty. But now it's millions and millions of dollars and, garners so many following. Why is that some people get celebrated when they die instead of when they're alive? What are your thoughts on that?
well, this is the thing. Now I have the tools to get myself out there, and it's what I do about it. And if I'm going to sit in my little cubicle and not share it with everybody, then that's the way it's going to stay. So you really need to open up and put your heart into what you want in life. Otherwise, it ain't going to work for you. And you
Mm,
keep working on it. Don't stop. Do not stop in what you believe. If you're passionate about your life and what you want to do to create that legacy, do not stop. Keep going. You're going to get people that do not support you, and you learn to let go, because if they are not along your part of your journey, they're never going to be. And for me, it's been a hard knock, but you learn through it, and it's okay. It's okay. And I'm okay with that too, because the ones that are here mean a lot to me, and the ones that are with me mean the world to me.
You
So,
mean the world to us for sharing your story,
thank
right?
you.
The world is
Thank you.
listening. My live stream is just here on YouTube, but your audio is really good from what I see. We're gonna push it to 77 nations and more when it comes to audio to get your story out there some more. My last question, really, for the day is if this is your last day today on this earth, what would be your parting message to your current and future families in terms of living life, legacy, and impact?
Do it with love. Do it with love in your heart. Do it with love. If you do things with love, you will show people your true self, your values, your integrity. Keep true to you and keep believing in what you need to do, and it will follow. Because I know I've worked so hard for things in my life with my hockey. I was a prefect, I was all those things. Keep working at being good, being honest, love what you do. And for me, unconditional love is so important. Unconditional love is the biggest thing for me. And just keep focused in what you believe in especially with your passions. And you must put yourself out there and keep your momentum.
Now, what kind of work do you do now for the people?
Well, what I do is I'm in a lot of collaboration groups and most incredible groups, and I meet so many awesome people, and they hook me up with people, and I start getting to know people on a relationship and building trusts and relationships, and I follow a lot of stories. And when they put personal stories out, it really hits me in my heart. And that calls out to me that I need to help do an artwork for them. And what I do is I use their picture with their story, and I literally just do the picture and create the illustration to pull out more emotion, to push their story and bring it to life more. And I send it to them and I say, use it, please
Now I'm
use it.
curious what you're gonna create for me. I was like, "Oh, Cheryl."
It
My life's a
must.
little complicated, but oh my gosh. I think that's just amazing how, we see ourselves differently than other people see us, right? And I got a couple of messages this morning that made me think something else about myself. A good thing, but I didn't realize it. What I do is normal to me, but what I do is so abnormal to the rest of the world, apparently. And I said, okay, what is so important? Why I feel like I'm doing so many projects at a time and I'm in a hurry? I think it's because my love and passion for helping others. I've always, like, even in high school, I volunteer at a local hospital to feed babies. And I won the key to the city because at a junior in high school, I had 1,100 volunteer hours for the year.
Wow.
And that is full-time job seems like, right? There's 2,080 hours, by the way, in a year that you can work if you work 8 to 5, Monday to Friday. There's the maximum hours you can work in a year is 2,080. I teach a class, that's why I know that that exact number. But I had 11 hours and I volunteer, and the mayor of the city asked me, "Why did you do this?" And I said, "Because I love helping people, and I know that some of the moms abandoned their child, or some of the moms died while giving birth, and some of the moms didn't have that, and I was abandoned as a child, so I feel like not thrown away. I was with my grandparents, my parents wasn't with me, but I feel like the babies, the first thing they should be done is held, when they're out of their womb, right? And I didn't want those babies to feel unloved without being touched by another human. I wasn't their mother, obviously, but I wanted to feed them and they were so cute. And my parents are like, she's never going to graduate high school. She's going to get pregnant and have lots of babies because she just loves too much kids. Um, but I've always volunteer and help out because I feel like it's my duty as a person to help others no matter what it takes. I'm not a rich person, but I have the time. So I will do that. And that's why I do projects and that's why I make cool people like you who cares about the community, who cares about getting their story. Because if we don't tell our story, literally 100 years from now, we're a nothing, we're a dust. Nobody knows us. But if technology and internet doesn't go away, this video stays forever in history. This is the
Awesome.
reason why I ask these questions because our great 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 grandkids could dig this up like a capsule. Like, hey, my great grandma was talking about love, you know? Um, and I love that. I love elevating people. I love people who has something to say but nowhere to say it, right? It's like in a cave. But if you get out of that cave, all kinds of animals and beautiful things happen in your life. So if you are living in that cave right now, whoever you are, come out, join our movement, right? We have a level
Absolutely.
up circle. Level up circle is more open to everyone. You're open and free to talk about things. We can agree to disagree because we're never going to agree on everything, but respectfully, right? Respectfully. Because we all come from different walks of life. But at the end of the day, like you said, Michelle, we just need love and acceptance. That's all I'm thinking. Two things, love and acceptance. When people accept you for who you are, and give you love as much as you give love to others, we'll be in a happy place, right?
Absolutely.
Do you have
Absolutely.
any last minute thing that you would like to people to invite? Do you have any events? Do you have anything going on? I would love to share it with our people.
Uh, well, something I would like to share is I've done a lot of caregiving with my mom with her Alzheimer's. I was a very big part of, she was my child. I never had the opportunity to have children. And it taught me so much to get involved in her life and through support groups and through support. And my mom's sister was like another mother to me because within the first 2 years of my mom getting Alzheimer's, she lost memory of all of us. And my aunt, when she found out she had cancer, she was 85. Um, Within her last month, I gave up working and I stayed by her side and I was with her. And I went through it with her for that 1 month from start to finish. When she found out, she passed. But you learn to care for those unconditionally. And even though you don't have children, just know that God is with you.
Mhm.
And it is so important to carry your heart where it needs to be and to pass it on to others to help inspire them to know that they are good enough as they are and they are very important. And I know I'm here for a reason, and that is to share that unconditional love with others. And through my art, I would love to share that.
We love you, right?
Thank
You're
you.
in our community.
Thank
So
you.
this is my love. This one people ask me, CJ, what is this? Every time I see you on anything on your video, this. I said this actually means love in Korean. Korean, K-pop. You'll see them and they'll say
Oh, wow.
안녕하세요. It's just
Oh,
love. It's if
wow.
you look at it, it's actually a heart, right? So it's another
Ah,
way of saying it. So you just yeah,
like
there you
that.
go.
That's
Yes, like that.
cool.
That's
Thank
love.
you. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's like I love you guys. I
That's
love you
so cool.
guys. Yeah. So hearts and hearts, the same thing.
Thank you.
Well, we'll love having you here. Thank you so much. And we will see you at the summit. It is free virtual summit, so you can
Definitely.
come anytime and we
Thank
can
you.
network with anyone and we can go in breakout rooms and meet people and exchange. And then October 21st is actually speed networking. So we could actually get to know people, network with people, and share what you do in a place where everyone is just happy to be there and really create memories for everyone. And the fun part is like You can have wine. I know it's early morning for me, like 8. CJ, what wine are you talking about? I'm like, I'm gonna be drinking coffee. You can drink wine wherever you are. But it will just be like you could even come in your pajama, you're not hair done. I don't care. From 8 to 10 PST on October 21st, you just show up and then we just network with everybody. If you are Hounds member, you have until
Yes.
Sunday. I'm gonna invite you guys. There's a I know it's like $10 right now to get in. Speakers can come in early, but if you're Hounds, I will give you a coupon code so you can come in for free.
Thank
And
you.
you guys can we can network and meet everybody, right? So
Oh,
it's 3 in the morning wherever you are. Wake up anyway with your hair not done. Okay.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Definitely. I would love to meet Hounds members. There's so many of us, but we don't meet each other, and this is your chance to get to know
Thank
each
you.
other.
Thank
Sia says, I'm late. Better late than never.
you.
Never. What's up, sister? Oh, Susanna. I lost my mom to Alzheimer's. Okay, Sister Susanna's here. Awesome. This is the author of The Armor of God. You guys gotta get that book. Really gotta get that book and support our sis. And when you get the book, please, guys, give her a Google review. It means a lot to us when you give a Google review. Okay. Um, and also, you'll if you give her a Google review, we will put you on our list for the anthology of our next book. Um, that we're doing for human trafficking. Okay. Hello, Yasi. I was wondering where you went. He's on our YouTube right now. Thank you so much. We just hit 5,000. My goal is going to be 10,000 within 6 months. So we'll see how this goes with YouTube. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye. Thank you very much.
Bye bye. Have a
Thank you.
one fantastic day. Bye, everyone. See ya next time. Oh, next week, Wednesday. Bye, everybody.
I'm on my own, broken and alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving.